Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C., all the way from the cold, chilly Philadelphia, PA today. I am super excited to introduce our guest today. I'm not going to give you it just yet, but we are brought to you by BALM Global as well as the Connected Leaders Academy. Again, I am super excited to have our guest, Brent Stone, who has achieved phenomenal success across multiple industries in his 20s and early 30s. At age 19 and after only 8 short months, he became one of the youngest people to reach the top 1% of one of the largest network marketing companies in the world. Since leaving the network marketing industry, he has invested in multiple passive income streams, allowing his family to live a life of financial freedom. Brent embodies an attitude of serving others and helping them achieve their goals. His boutique connecting agency, Stoneco LLC, helps people by turning active income into passive income through various vehicles and connections. Brent Stone loves people and, more importantly, helping them break free of trading their life for money. Again, I am super excited. We had our first connection call a couple weeks ago, but we've been knowing each other for a little bit through the BLN community, and I'm super excited to have him as our guest today. So without further ado, let's bring on my friend, Brent. Hey, Brent, how are you today?
I'm great, Nikki. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. This is really awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and now joining the BALM family. I'm actually about hitting close to 100 interviews already since I started back in September. So I have to check and see if I'm at my next 50th interview so I can do another week-long celebration of all my guests. So hopefully you fall right into that. So I'm super excited. I'll keep you posted.
Please.
But yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been a blessing and an honor to be able to connect with some amazing people through all my communities. And obviously, Brett, you being one of them, doing some amazing things. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, I know I read your bio, but 20, starting in the multiple industries, that's pretty young. Can you tell me where you come from? You know, how did you get there? How did you get the love for entrepreneurship? And what was the mindset?
Sure. So I'm in Virginia. So I'm a little bit further south from you, not too far away, but a couple hours. And from a young age, I've always had this entrepreneurial bone in my body, I guess. I feel like all the bones are entrepreneurial. I've always wanted to do something in entrepreneurship. My dad was a business guy. I wanted to be like him, and he worked really hard for my family growing up. And he was gone a lot, but he understood traditional business ownership takes a lot of hard work, and he just embodied that. And I wanted to be able to do something similar. The only difference would be just to be able to have more time to spend with my family, not just, give them a really cool lifestyle. That's basically where my motivation came from. He's my hero. So he's worked really hard his whole life, and he's done a lot of really cool things. But I've also watched him deal with a lot of, I don't want to say failure, but basically they had his company that he built from 0 to 50 employees or so, and did multiple millions of dollars a year. They had multiple exit offers, and then they didn't take it. And then it was shortly before, the crash in 2008, they ended up trying to get out, him and his business partner, and they couldn't get hardly anything for the business. And it was just a sad story, but I didn't even realize it until years later. My dad talked to me about how he lost millions of dollars, and I had no idea. His attitude never changed. And I was in high school. It's not like I wasn't observant. So that's why he's my heroes, because he was able to just roll with the punches and then rebuild. And I never heard him complain about it. It wasn't anything that he took out on my sister or myself. And he's just Really awesome. So that's where my inspiration comes from, because if anyone else, on the, watching the show or listening, that's an entrepreneur, you're going to have a roller coaster. I think Darren Hardy has the Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster book. That's so accurate. There's lots of really cool times, but man, there's lots of times where you're going downhill, and not in a good way if you're learning. And then after you learn some lessons, you get to stabilize, and then you start getting profitable. Hopefully you don't spend it on a Lamborghini. You just go out and you can reinvest in other things, because that's what, unfortunately, a lot of young entrepreneurs, they get profitable and they want to start buying flashy things. But really what you should be doing is not just saving in cash, but investing in other businesses so you can diversify. So that's kind of a lot, Nikki. Do you want me to slow down? We can pivot and we can kind of drill down to something.
No, that's good. That's great. What you really highlighted was that things that, when things go wrong or south at times, that you can transition and still move forward. And, the fact that, he did it in such a nonchalant way that you didn't even notice, you didn't even know what was going on. So I think that is just a great character to have, to really show to your children. And I'm that mom. I have a senior in high school. He's about to graduate, and I make sure that he's involved in all of my network stuff and, my growth and my business. So he comes to a lot of my events or events that I attend, whether I'm, speaking on stage or being part of the group and stuff. I always want him to know what mom is doing, why mom is leaving for weekends at a time, just, really for my vision. So the fact that he was able to do that transition so smoothly and not even affect, the family, that's really powerful.
Yeah.
And that actually gave you the sense of, okay, well, if he can do it even through the challenges of the failures, I'm going to go all in no matter what it takes or no matter what happens down your journey. So, yeah. So now what happens next as far as, when you started your mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So at 18 years old, I was still in high school. I had a couple months left to finish out. I was actually working as a busboy for Outback Steakhouse. And one of my coworkers just told me, hey, he had this opportunity and wanted me to just check this out with this other guy that has basically this, he was teaching him how to basically run an online business. And at the time, college was not going to be in the cards for me. It wasn't that I had bad grades. It's just, I don't know if you know anyone with like massive ADHD. I was that kid. I just didn't really, it's not that I didn't even really care about school. It's just, I just didn't want to focus on it. I just couldn't understand, like in the big picture, if I was going to be really wealthy, I just couldn't understand how it was going to help me, do better than everyone else in society. Because everyone else in society basically was following this path that led them to, on average making somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 a year. And this was, back in the early 2000s. And I'm like, that's not what I want. So, obviously it's not like I had another answer for people. I just didn't know what to do. I just figured entrepreneurship's probably my only option. And I was waiting, trying to build plans and get ideas. And then all of a sudden, I get contacted, and it was for network marketing. And I didn't know what that was at the time, but it turned out to be one of the best training grounds for me, just given my attitude, my skill set that I had coming in. I didn't like talking to people, so it helped me get into new skill sets that I didn't have. But I did like the idea of helping people. I really did like that. So that was positive. That was good. And then for years, I poured myself into that because I was coming from a pretty destructive lifestyle too. I don't know how much you want me to get into this, but I was actually,
much as you want.
I was running all the time from party to party to party. And I was into drugs and I was into all kinds of things. And I was actually being investigated to be tried as an adult when I turned 18 years old, which was like right around this time. And the only reason why they didn't arrest me, because I was under surveillance by our local drug task force unit, was because, and I heard all this third party because I had a connection to someone that was dating one of the officers. And essentially what I found out was that they were just waiting to try me as an adult. And so it was really crazy because it wasn't like we were like really like good at, selling drugs or anything. We were just, kids trying to, be cool and make money. And then sure enough, we did a lot of the wrong things in the right order, I guess, and got the attention of the authorities. And then anyway, so we thought we were slick. We were obviously not. And I just was like, I'm going to clean my whole life up. I got scared. I got this tip and I was like, you know what, I'm going to drop all this. My parents raised me to do something with my life, and I'm going to totally let them down. My grandparents, all these people that have been, praying for me for my whole life for me to do something with myself. And I got scared of going to jail. Honestly, I didn't want to do that. and then
Absolutely.
so I started to just really be open-minded to other things. And so that's when I got this call, and I got into network marketing, and I just decided I was going to, drop everything cold turkey, just the drugs, the party, and everything. And I decided I was going to put my nose down and learn, work, whatever I had to do. There was no amount of sleep I was not willing to lose. I mean, I would drive everywhere. After about 18 to 24 months, I had business in close to 20 states, probably more than that if I were to go back through my notes at that stage of my life. And I was just all over the place, expanding this business. And I really bought into the vision of the gentleman that was coaching me and mentoring me. And we had a great friendship. And, it's just crazy. That was almost 15 years of my life.
Wow.
And we did some really cool things. And then when I met my wife back in 2011, we got married in 2013. It was the tail end of 2011 when we got together, started dating. She actually helped me triple the size of my business. I'm just a hard worker. She's the brains in the operation. She helped me just organize everything and not let people, fall through the cracks, essentially. Hey, we got to make sure that, if someone is maybe not interested at this moment, they could be in the future. I was just so much like, if someone didn't want to talk to me, I was like, no problem. Hey, have an awesome life. And I was off to talking to the next person about what I'm doing. And she was a huge role in growing everything past the point to where I got it. And I'm so grateful for her. And then she's also been a part of all these other businesses that we've done. And I can talk about that later. But after time went on, beginning of 2020, some stuff happened, and I just made the decision that it's time to pivot. It's unfortunate when things happen, like if stuff happens in business, and you have disagreements with people or ethical disagreements or whatnot, and you can't come to an agreement on how it should be handled. That's kind of what happened with me in the network marketing business. I actually love network marketing, and I think the business model is incredible for teaching and training people. So I'd probably still be a part of my network today, doing everything that I'd be doing. But most of my team, I left in capable hands of one of the best guys that I trained up, and you probably know him. He's actually part of BLN too. But he's handling it, and he's killing it, and he's kind of carrying the torch from here. But I'm doing other things. I took the capital that was in that business and I reinvested it across other businesses, and my wife and I are doing just fine. But yeah, we're into lots of other things now.
That is amazing. So you said a lot of great things that I can actually relate to. So let's first go back to what you experienced when you were going through that partying stage, teenager. First of all, you knew that college wasn't an option. Kudos to you, because sometimes I didn't go straight to college after high school either. I went later on in my career when I was working in the company I was working for, and I'm not using it today. So sometimes you have a dream, you think that you're going to stay in a business or you're going to stay put for some time, that you start investing in, these courses, these careers. And I thought they were going to have to drag me out of this company because I loved it so much and what I did with it. And it was my shot. But after a while, you start getting into it, and it's crazy that you said about network marketing, because I actually was in network marketing as well. I actually still am in a few companies, different types of areas, but we'll talk about that in a sec, because there's a very distinct difference in that type of world, and I absolutely love it. But you said that you were getting into some trouble and you were about to, you got the call, you got the tip, and you made that choice to say, you know what? It's not going to be me. This is not what I want. My family and, everyone around me wants better for me. So now it's time for me to take ownership of my life and put my nose down and, do what I have to do. So kudos to you on that, because some people learn right after, they're doing time and, they've already lost some time in their life. So I commend you for really being aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. And I'm glad that you're here today. And in 2020, again, you had said that some uncertain times smacked us in the face that we were unaware of, and I call 2020 is perfect vision, right? And I
Right.
believe that a lot of people cleared their vision in 2020 and really made that decision, which was crazy because I actually started in travel for network marketing right before the pandemic. It was February. I had found my church. I had connected with a family member who also gave me an opportunity and said, hey, look at this. And a lot of times when we share these opportunities with other people, they think it's a scam. They don't know what it's about. Why do I have to
Sure.
put money out? And they don't really give themselves the opportunity to really venture out in that type of area, which I absolutely love. Actually, in 2021, I was on revenge travel while people were, still cooped up in their house. I was in the Bahamas and
That's so
Arizona.
funny.
I went
Revenge
to,
travel. That's
yeah,
like
that's
the quote of the day for me. That's great.
yeah, that's what we called it. We were like on an airplane like every other month or every 3 months. And we really were, it really was the start of personal development because you have national trainings you go to, you
Yeah.
have things that really build you and build your character and all those skills that you said you gravitated. So kudos to you for also, I got married in 2013 as well, like my official wedding day, like the big shebang. So 2013. Um, and that was in September. So I definitely know uh, that that space and having that someone to support you and really get you. It's very important to have an alignment with the person that you're doing life with and being able to grow together. So I just needed to touch base on all of those things. So
Sure.
we're going to
Yeah.
take a quick commercial break. We're going to hear from our sponsor, and then we're going to get to what you're doing now and some other mindset and leadership stuff. So
Awesome.
bear me 1 second. This is
Got it.
amazing.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Hello, everyone. We're back with Brent Stone from the BLN community, which we connected by. Have you met Jose?
I haven't spoken to him one-on-one. I've seen him in some of the chats through, I guess it's been through BLN, but I know that he's connected with JR, who's one of my best friends. And yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, you're going to meet him in a few weeks. So he will
Perfect.
be at BLN Live. He'll be speaking there. So definitely connect with him. Super awesome, amazing man. We've been, it feels like we've known each other forever, but it's really only been almost a year in May, which is crazy to really realize, how quick of a connection we get when we get in community with people that are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
So super awesome. But yeah, so before we go into like what you're doing now, was there ever a time where you went through some challenges, some doubts, days that you just wanted to give up? What did that look like for you, and how did you overcome those barriers?
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, that's an easy question to answer. So it wasn't like once every couple of weeks. it was every day for my first 6 to 9 months when I was getting into network marketing. I basically alienated most of my friends and my family at the time when I started. My parents ended up supporting me, but in the beginning, they strongly did not support me. So I was virtually on my own the first couple weeks, couple months. And I was just looking for emotional support from my parents. I didn't expect them to buy product from me or be on, my business team or anything like that. They ended up doing those things, but I ended up going door to door, knocking on doors, talking to people about buying product from me, just trying to build my customer base, which was not interesting to me at all. I wanted to build a massive network because passive income always resonated with me. Well, so I'll tell you my schedule because that'll kind of help paint the picture for the question you just asked. So I was working, I probably worked 15 different jobs over the course of my first 18 months in business, because if any employer basically gave me any pushback when I had to go to a training conference or a meeting or anything, I was like, look, I'll give you my 2 weeks and I'll finish it out. But I told you I needed these specific days and times off before I started. And I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, I got this massive exposure to like multiple different industries in like my first like 2 years of building network marketing business, because I just wanted to make money to fund my dream. And so even though I was scared to death of talking to people, I was given books and recommended by my upline team, like, hey, what's going to help build my skill sets to where I can lead people in the future. And what I ended up doing is I'd work construction, because I worked a couple different construction jobs. So I would get up at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, really before the sun came up. I would work and try to not take a lunch break, so I could finish by 3 or 4 p.m. Drive to wherever I back from the job site, back to either my apartment or a friend's house, get cleaned up, go into town. And I would basically just walk around our local Walmart Harrisonburg Crossing shopping center for like 6 hours a night, unless I was driving to like Maryland, 2.5, 3 hours away to attend a meeting where I might have had someone on my team, or Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Roanoke, Virginia, somewhere, just trying to basically get around people that were really building this back in 2006 and 7 and 8. And I was all over the place. And I would get home, most of the time I'd get home. If I was just around Harrisonburg, I'd get home at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, because that gave me enough time to try to meet, 3 to 5 or 6 people, just walking around, shaking hands, and actually getting some people that I could talk to about my business. But then I would stay up and I would do self-education until midnight. So I was literally averaging 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night for about a year and a half. And there was many nights where
dedication.
when I was coming back from Maryland a couple of nights, I'd get on 495. There was one night in particular where I was so tired, I missed my exit. I drove around the entire Beltway. I got home literally with enough time to change and go right to work. And that, I mean, there was multiple nights where I didn't sleep, but that was one where I was just so aggravated at myself, because it was because of a mistake that I couldn't sleep. And I mean, I think I probably pulled off at a truck stop to sleep for like 20, 30 minutes. But I mean, I was 18 years old. I was just trying to make it happen. And I figured, you know what, I'm never going to be this young again. I might as well just go out and pay my dues now and make it happen. So anyway, I was scared to death. And then anytime I got up in front of people to talk or share the dream, I was scared to death. There was multiple times, I can tell you, Nikki, where I was in front of groups of people and I just black out. I was so scared. I don't even know what I said. But over time, just doing it over and over and over again, that's where I got over the butterflies, so to speak, and was able to just tell people about what was going on. And I've carried those skills. They were hard to learn, but man, such a blessing, because now I can carry those into so many other industries and businesses. And well, anyway, I'll let you transition if you've got another question.
Yeah. So no, that was great. So what do you tell someone? What did you tell your downline when they were fearful of really trying to share the vision? Because that's really the hardest part, is because they're really not buying into the products, even though the products are amazing, the benefits are amazing, and you can definitely get to the top of the leaderboard when it comes to network marketing. It's such a simple model, because it's really a referral base, right? It's
Yeah.
really you just tell them how everything works, and they either buy into it or they don't. And the crazy thing about it is that we do that all day long. We refer movies, we refer food, we refer drinks, we refer locations, and no one pays us a dime for any of that. So if you have this company that says, hey, just go and share a few things and, get them to sign up, not only are they going to get the best of the best, but they can also get paid while they're doing it, and so on and so on. And that's really the trickle effect of it. Um, but people tend to get really nervous and really get scared and not really believe in the product. How did you help your downline do that?
So it was a very similar conversation with just about everyone that expressed fear. I learned this acronym. I can't take credit for it. It's not like I created this, but it was called Feel, Felt, Found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Let me tell you what I found. I mean, like literally, and the message on like what I found was virtually what you just said. We could continue to live how we've always been living and not make money off that, or we can just tweak a couple things and then we can derive income off of these things that we're going to do anyway. And here's the thing. If you want to live like no one else is able to live, then you have to live differently now on purpose so that you have these options later on. And that people get it. I mean, that's why they get set up in network marketing anyway, or really truthfully, any entrepreneur starting any business. I saw a post the other day that was really good. And the post was, you didn't start this business because you thought it'd be hard. You started this business because you thought it would be easy. But once you get into building any business, I don't care if it's network marketing, traditional business ownership, a big corporation, anything, it's hard. Now, that doesn't mean the rewards aren't there. It just means that you just weren't aware of how hard it was going to be. And now you're stuck. Now, what's really cool is that that's a good thing, because now you're invested and you got to be able to, continue on with building that business. So pretty awesome.
I love that post. That's a great post because it is not easy. I started my entrepreneurial journey in 2015 when I became a realtor, and working 60 to 80 hours. I did not have time to market myself. I didn't get directly on a team. I wasn't able to do the training because it was during my work hours. So it was pretty crazy. And then when I did go through my first transaction, I found out that I don't like time constraints, and I didn't like all the paperwork, and I didn't feel comfortable with having people's, life on my life, life on me. So I decided, you know what, let me downgrade, and it's okay. You can choose a career, you can start it, figure that you don't like it, because at least you tried. You can't say that it didn't work. You just find out what works and what doesn't. So I became a referral agent, and now I just connect the dots because I feel like that was my strength. I'm a connector. So I connect buyers with sellers, and I'll just get the passive income that way. I don't have to lift a finger, but attach two people together. So it's just that awareness. So thank you so much for, again, highlighting something else that, people just don't understand when it comes to becoming a business owner. And they have great ideas, and they have so much potential to actually take it to those levels that they can't even imagine. It just needs, like a coach, like a mentor, someone. What do you think about coaching and events, and how important was that for you and your growth?
Oh, it was so important. I mean, I've seen a lot of scrutiny over different aspects of like training systems for businesses, and especially in network marketing, but it's so silly. I don't regret any penny I've ever invested on myself going to a training event or buying business support materials. And there's people out there that either they prematurely quit network marketing before they actually made money, so they don't understand like what it actually takes. Or, and here's the thing, that's why I still endorse it, because my wife and I, we were making good money when we ended up shutting things down. We basically virtually had the 6-figure passive income stream coming in. And what a lot of people don't realize is that that's due to the mentorship and the coaching and everything else that we learned. Now, it wasn't just from one person in the upline, it was from a panel of really successful people within our business support team and the corporation. And there's a lot there that we can get into, but here's what I'll tell you is that the conferences were so important as far as basically keeping the dream alive and keeping it real and tangible. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that whatever you're focusing on, you're going to be gravitated towards. And if you let other things in life that might not, they still might be important, but if you let them kind of get in the way of what you're trying to do, if you're building your foundation in a business, Well, I mean, yeah, those things you can focus on, but your business is going to die. And then if you really wanted to be financially independent, 5 years from that stage and where you are in life, well, you're not going to be. But if you are
No.
focusing on your business, then you could still be financially independent and then be able to do all these other things. So you can have everything in life that you want. You just can't have everything in life that you want right now. So you gotta prioritize and then kind of build like that. And that was my philosophy when I was, young in business. And I still think that there's a lot that I probably adopted that, was a bit extreme. There's ways to kind of balance life and still build and be successful. But I didn't do it that way when I was in my early 20s and late teens. I swam in the Kool-Aid, like Grant Cardone. I jumped into the punch bowl. I didn't care.
Sometimes that's how you have to do it, because if you start dipping your toes, you're quicker to kind of turn back around and not dive in at all,
Right.
which is pretty sad, because you just never know. You always have to take that chance on yourself. I am a firm believer. I mean, that was my journey, and it's so crazy because sometimes people would complain, like in these companies, they would complain like, why am I going to go to another event? They're just saying the same thing over and over. But let me tell you that each time that I went, I always had a new aha moment. I always picked up, and they're different speakers every time. The mission is still the same, but the delivery is so different each and every time. And that's what was powerful. And obviously, just being in community, being with the people that you're doing life with was even more amazing. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of getting in the room. Just like when I got in the room with my publisher, my ultimate goal is to be a speaker, to be on stage, to just motivate women around the world. And I said, if I'm going to be a speaker, I need to enter the speaker competition. He was just on a live one day, and we had went to Texas together, and he was like, Nikki, what's your story? And I'm like, well, I don't have a story. He's like, everybody has a story, right? So I had told him about, what happened in corporate America, really not hitting that glass ceiling, and, finally decided to break out of it myself, because no one was going to hand it to me. I knew I had more in me, right? So I did that. I went to his event for like 2 minutes. I felt so unworthy. And this is another thing where people um, tend to like minimize what their worth is, because they probably don't have enough experience, or they haven't been in this network space. And for 2 minutes, I felt that way. But after I went in the door and people received me for me, that totally went out the window. And then you couldn't stop me after that. After that, I wrote my book, I did my podcast, I built my own community. And it's when you only get in front of other people that are growth minded and that are going to be there for you and really support your every desire. Unfortunately, it doesn't come from our family and friends. It's just sad to say. You'll have them support you, you'll have them cheering you on. But like you said, I think I lost a lot of friends during that time, which was really sad. And I still call them to this day, because you know what? You didn't have to buy from me, but I still love you. We did life together. So no ill will ever. I'm still the same Nikki from day one to day, whenever that last day is. But thank you so much for shining a light on that. But let's talk about what you have going on now. So you did network marketing. You decided, you know what, I'm going to transition. I'm going to go through a new path. What are you working on?
Well, I'll tell you, I want to take my story and I want to be able to help people with understanding how to generate passive income. And I'll tell you this, there's a lot of ways to generate really good passive income. One of the things that I'm going to be really talking about today is just how people can look at taking active income that, if their goals are trying to make more money per hour or more money per year on their salary or whatever the case is, how to get off that hamster wheel, if you will, because people are constantly trying to apply for new positions or do different things, especially at post-COVID. I mean, everyone's like jumping from job to job, and whoever's going to offer them another couple bucks an hour more. which I'm not trying to put down people trying to better themselves. What I'm putting down is the thought process that that's going to get them to be financially successful, because what they don't realize, I call it the golden handcuffs. When people get to a certain stage where they're making multiple six figures a year through either W-2 income or deferred income packages, corporation, let's say you're a C-suite and you're getting, six-figure salary, but then you're also getting stock option and other things. Well, all of a sudden the board or your boss or whoever calls the shots starts requiring more of you than what you're willing to give, and you're required to give it, and you know that you're going to give it even if you don't feel good about it, because you've got these golden handcuffs on. You don't want to give up that massive income that you've started to build. And I know it's all perspective, but when I was 18 years old, $300,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year might as well have been $300 million a year to me, because literally I was not even making, $15,000 a year. I was working part-time as a busboy. I was probably making $6,000 a year, $7,000, you know what I mean? Like, just, it is peanuts. So now looking at where people are, and if they're producing for their family, how can they transition that into passive income and not taking 50 years to do it, to retire, like actually doing it in 2 to 4 or 5 years. And there's vehicles out there that can do it. And network marketing is a great one. There's also investment opportunities. So if somebody's already got the capital, that's where I come in. I can help them, because over the last, 15 years or so, I've vetted a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people that I met because of my young success story. My wife and I, we got the opportunity to be flown internationally. We've spoke on stages and different things in front of hundreds of thousands of people. When I was 18, 19 years old, I got recognized at a major conference in front of probably 8,000, 10,000 people or so. When you do that, you become an authority figure. And so people approach you about different things, and they assume that you've got money to invest in whatever. So like I've had people approach me about different things, good and bad opportunities, and I've lost money and I've made some money. So I've gotten the opportunity to talk to a lot of people. And of course, when people think you're successful, it brings out financial advisors and other things. People want to like manage your money for you and all these things. And it's really interesting. So I've had the opportunity to vet lots of people in the financial industry and figure out different vehicles that aren't exactly mainstream, because what I've found out about mainstream is when you do things that everyone else does, you get the same results. So I've always been cautious of trying to go that route. So I have some unorthodox opportunities for investing and other things that people can really start to make really good returns on their money, cash on cash returns every single month. And then also have multiples, exponentially increase their principal investments and stuff like that. So, and I put them in touch with professionals. It's not like I'm managing the money for them. It's people that I've used myself that I trust, and I connect them with the individuals. And that's been a really cool thing for me with Stoneco. I mean, my wife and I, we have a healthcare business. We have, I'm in the lending space. I've got a lending company that I started actually a couple weeks ago. Which is really cool. And then we have e-commerce. So I have a couple Amazon stores and brands that I own within those stores. And then I've gotten actually really into that space, because it's not only is it lucrative, but it's a really easy onboarding for somebody that wants to invest. Now, if someone wants to just start an e-commerce type of opportunity and run it through Amazon, they can absolutely do that, make a couple $100,000 a year, no problem. But the problem is that it becomes a full-time job. So if that's not what you're passionate about, it will dominate your schedule. So, from everything that I've seen, because we have 3 stores, but I don't do hardly anything because I pay an automation company to do all of that, and I keep 70% of the profit. So it's a really good trade-off. I'm happy to pay someone to have skin in the game, but I don't want to do anything. I just want the passive cash flow. So I teach people that.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but that
No.
is a great point, because a lot of people that get into entrepreneurship, they're all about the 100% investment. They want to do everything themselves. They don't want to pay anyone else. They don't want to get a team together. How important is it to actually structure your company where the whole point is for you to sit back and collect the bottom dollar, right?
Oh, yes.
Whatever that looks like. And I know that's your mission, and that's how you help people. What do you say to people that, that are looking to do this investments and stuff, and they're probably not agreeing with that split or whatever the split looks like? Do you have
Oh, sure.
objections like that?
Oh yeah. But here's the thing. I try to explain to people. Remember how I talked about the golden handcuffs when somebody's a
Yeah.
W-2 and they're making a couple $100,000 a year? When you're an entrepreneur and you've got this unlimited earning potential, I don't care what industry or vertical you're in, it's like the next progression of the golden handcuffs mentality. Now it's like the golden ball and chain. You think you got to do everything yourself or it's not going to get done right. And then you're so scared to scale because what if this person steals from me? What if this person, virtually comes down to like, this person's going to steal from me, whether it's a vendor, whether it's an employee, whatever it is, steal time, steal inventory, steal, IP, whatever the case is. So people are so scared to scale. So that's one of the integral pieces. I mean, we have multiple employees. We have a healthcare company in the dental space, and we have lots of employees there and contractors and other things. And that's one area where we've applied a lot of the things we learned in network marketing, and that's flourished and that's doing great. But we have other things that we're now starting to bring that into, and we're building these other areas up. And the whole idea is so we can just turn around, and my whole thing is to be able to teach it to other people. I want to get back and get on stage and tell people that they can do that stuff. They just have to they have to find the keys that can unlock the golden handcuffs if they're a W-2, or the key that goes to the ball and chain, the golden ball and chain if they're an entrepreneur on their ankle, and they can unhook that. But it does take thinking about things in a certain way. And you also have to be okay with paying someone to have skin in the game, because here's the thing: at the end of the day, if you want people to be incentivized, if you give them a percentage of profit in some capacity, they're going to be a lot more excited about your victories because they're making money on your victories. And I learned that from network marketing, and it's worked out really well for us. A lot of people are just like, they want to keep, they don't even want to pay a percentage. They just want to pay someone a salary, or they want to pay someone this or that, which in certain cases, that's okay, especially if that's what the person wants. If they want security, no problem. But if you want to give someone an unlimited ceiling on what they can earn, and they're going to work for you, and also no floor, man, and if they're money motivated, they're going to bend over backwards to see you become successful.
Yeah. And also, they're also going to bring you more business. They're going to bring you more business. They're
every
gonna
day.
refer. Yeah. And that's probably the easiest way. You're not paying, ads, or you're not paying, you're doing stuff organically. Things come with how you treat not only your business, but those that work within your business, and celebrate it all, because it's all a win. It's a team effort. Things go much further when it's set up that way. And thank you so much again for shining a light on that. So how can people get a hold of you, and what are just some very specifics of the things that you actually can help people with increasing their income,
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
passive income?
So if people want to reach out to me, my email, if people go to my website, they can book a call with me. I mean, that's a really great place to just, get on my calendar, because now I'm starting to book out a couple weeks out. If people were to go there and see open space for like the next 7 days, I'd be shocked. But there's a lot of interest in this type of thing that I'm doing now, which is really, really exciting. But how I could help people initially, like I have something that I started in 2021 is an advertising and software company with a business partner, and that's blown up. I mean, we've had, thank goodness, we've had a lot of traction with that. But the software has to do with lead generation for companies inside of a CRM platform. And we can automate a lot of things that it takes businesses like 30% of their day to do. And so right away, we can save businesses 30% of their productivity or their energy expenditure on a daily basis, or as far as like automating busybody tasks for salespeople. And so that's a really big thing, is giving companies and their sales departments proper tools in order to be able to help them with expanding that. And that's under our company called Funnel Force, and the software is called Proforce. And we're on websites out there. But if you go to my Stoneco website, there's a link to Funnel Force on there. But then also, if people are interested in automating their income just for themselves personally, going and clicking the FBA button on my website, they'll take you to a video where it just I talk about it really briefly, and then they can book a call with me, and then I can give them whatever information, answer questions, that kind of thing. And I'll create the proper connections with the companies. It's really not hard at all. So that's how they could probably reach out to me that way. Probably the easiest way. And if people have other questions, there's other areas of my website. I'm actually in the process of building on a podcast and working on some book projects and some other things. So if people want to get exposure and different things out there too, I'd love to talk to them about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we connected, and we have some things in the works that are coming down the line. So I'm super excited about the opportunities that you offer and that are available, because sometimes people just need clear direction on really how to maximize their investments and their income, and doing it in a way that it's obviously legit, legal, and can take that leap in a shorter amount of time, because some people want it like within months, which is crazy to even think that money can turn that fast. So, and it has to be done in a way where obviously everyone is aware, on point, what's going on, how it's coming in, how it's going out, and really being able to grow and scale in any aspect, in every area of your business. So definitely connect with Brent. Your story is so awesome, to just have that a great mindset at a very early age. I wish I did that. I'm in my 40s now. I'll be 41 this month, actually. So I wish I had these tools 20 years ago, and they were available. I didn't know where they were at, but they were available. So I'm all about starting with individuals when they're very, very young. Me and my son were working on a project to start with the youth for 2024, building a leadership mindset and taking it to a youth version, and starting them when they're in high school. So by the time they are about to graduate, they already have their own business already set up and ready to go. If not already making money, but about to like really joint venture and just step out and really grow what their passions are, whatever that is. So that's my goal. But
That's awesome.
it's just, yeah, it's been amazing to go on this journey and to get my growth in less than 7 months, because I decided to say yes to myself. And that's really where it starts. It's just believing that no matter what happens, I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to put in all the work, all the effort, dedicate my time to really grow. And that's really all it takes. And there's nothing that can go wrong as far as growth, except that you start to doubt yourself, and you don't have those mentors and those coaches in place, and you don't have that personal development really in place. So just go in with an open mind, and every opportunity, especially when your friend calls you and tells you, hey, listen to something. When I say listen to something, it means just listen. You're not obligated. You don't have any attachments, but see the vision and then make a decision. Don't ever try um, to dodge the opportunity, because it's just what do they say? When someone says no, it's just another person's opportunity, something like that. I'm not sure. But Brent, give us the last final words for our audience, and what do you want to leave them with today?
Just that if you're getting into whether you're an entrepreneur getting started, or you're looking for an opportunity, or whatever the case is, you should definitely write down what you're trying to do or what you would love to do. And then just don't give up. Keep on plowing through and asking people, if they know anyone that's doing something in the space. Try to interview people that are already doing what you want to do and ask how you can do it. See who will help you. It's all about networking, and it's all about who you know. I mean, you know this, Nikki. I mean, we get the opportunity to meet you. You're doing all these awesome things. It's just, getting around other people that can elevate where you're at in life. And, my wife and I, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for, the experiences that I had in the network marketing time that I spent there, but also the people that we met during that time frame of my life. And then also other people we've met since then. And I've just never stopped networking. And it wasn't comfortable, but because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I was willing to kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is one of the biggest success secrets I think that exists, is that once you can do that, then anything's possible.
Yeah, that's so true. And people would think that just by speaking to me the way I speak now. I'm a total extrovert, and that's the total opposite. I'm actually an introvert, and I'm very observant when I go to these meetings and networking. Probably not now, but when I first started, I was definitely an introvert where I'm just like kind of checking everybody out because I had that trust uh uh thing, like, is this really, like, are they in it for themselves, or am I going to be able to grow from this, just all those limiting beliefs that we're taught throughout our lives because either our parents or people around us didn't know better,
Right.
and who were we to like take their advice when they never did it themselves. But we tend to do that. We tend to make decisions off of what other people's beliefs are on different things. So thank you, Brent, so much for coming on today. It was an amazing, amazing time chatting with
Thank you
you.
so
It's
much.
super awesome to really see your insight on all of this networking stuff and just being yourself and just taking a chance on yourself and just being able to make a difference. And that's really all I want to do. It's just we learn these things, we invest in ourselves obviously because we want to grow, but once we get these tools, we want to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
If it worked for us, that's the point of what we do. What we do, if it works for us, why not help that next person out? You always need someone in front of you who's doing it that you want to learn from, and then you have someone behind you that you just want to bring along for the ride. So thank you so much, Brett. It's been an amazing time. And thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. Have a great day. And as I always say, make it count.
Thanks, Nikki.
Bye.
Bye.